What if one battle could change the world? Let's travel back to the year 1177, to a dusty plain in the Holy Land. In our timeline, a young leper king, Baldwin IV of Jerusalem, led a tiny crusader force to a miraculous victory against the mighty Saladin at the Battle of Montgisart. It was a stunning upset, a moment of legend. But what if history had taken a different turn? Imagine this. The year is still 1177. Saladin, one of history's greatest military commanders, sees the Crusaders coming. He's been raiding their lands, and he expects them to be desperate. But this time, he doesn't underestimate them. Instead of letting his forces spread out to plunder, he holds them in a tight, disciplined formation. The trap is set. The Crusader army, desperate for a surprise attack, charges forward, but there is no surprise. They ride directly into Saladin's perfectly organized lines. The disciplined Mamluks and seasoned warriors absorb the charge, surround the knights, and the battle becomes a slaughter. The army of Jerusalem is not just defeated, it's annihilated. And in the chaos, their king, the brave Baldwin IV, is either killed on the field or captured. With this single, catastrophic defeat, the kingdom of Jerusalem crumbles almost overnight. The king is gone, the army is gone. The entire structure of power vanishes in a single afternoon. The nobles, who were already squabbling for influence, are now completely rudderless. Who can lead them? Who has the authority to command what's left of their defenses? Panic sets in. The coastal cities and mighty castles like Kerak and Acre suddenly feel incredibly isolated. Their garrisons looking out at a horizon now, completely dominated by Saladin's forces. There is no one coming to save them. The spirit of the kingdom is broken. Saladin, ever the strategist, seizes this golden opportunity. He doesn't wait. He knows that momentum is everything. Instead of spending years consolidating his power in Egypt and Syria, he marches directly on the ultimate prize, Jerusalem. In our history, the city held out for another decade, but not in this one, without its king, without its army, and without the morale boost of the Montgisart victory. Jerusalem is a fruit ripe for the picking. The city's defenses are undermanned, and its leadership is in disarray. The siege is short and decisive. Roughly 10 years earlier than in our timeline, the gates of Jerusalem swing open for Saladin. He becomes the legendary liberator of the holy city far sooner, his fame echoing across the Muslim world not as a patient unifier, but as a swift and unstoppable conqueror. News of Jerusalem's fall sends a tidal wave of shock and horror across Europe. The Pope is devastated. He immediately calls for a new crusade. But this call is born from a position of absolute weakness and desperation, not strength. European kings and emperors are caught completely off guard. In our history, they had a decade to prepare for the Third Crusade. Leaders like Richard the Lionheart, Philip Augustus, and Frederick Barbarossa had time to gather massive armies, secure funding, and plan their logistics. But now, there is no time. The call to arms is urgent, chaotic. What takes shape is not a grand, organized expedition, but a fragile, hastily assembled force. Knights and soldiers rush to the east with more passion than preparation. This isn't the Third Crusade we know. There's no room for legendary rivalries or heroic charges. There are no ideal conditions for a figure like Richard the Lionheart to forge his legend. This premature crusade is likely smaller, less coordinated, and destined for failure before it even begins. It might break apart on the journey, or be easily defeated by Saladin's now unified empire upon arrival. Back in the Middle East, Saladin's early victory accelerates everything. He has achieved his life's goal, a decade ahead of schedule. This triumph gives him unparalleled prestige. The various Muslim factions and rival emirs, who were once hesitant to follow him, now flock to his banner. The unification of the Muslim world under his Ayyubid dynasty happens faster and more completely. With his power base solidified so early, he can systematically dismantle the remaining Crusader states. The principalities of Antioch and Tripoli, already weakened, would stand little chance. Their decline would be swift. The Crusader presence in the Holy Land, which in our history lingered for another century, would effectively be over. They would no longer be a significant, long-term threat, but a historical footnote. The entire dynamic of the conflict between East and West is fundamentally altered. This alternate timeline leaves us with so many fascinating and unanswered questions, with Jerusalem falling so much earlier, and the subsequent crusade likely failing, would the whole idea of crusading lose its appeal in Europe? Perhaps the immense cost and swift defeat would convince European monarchs that these holy wars were a futile endeavor, or would the loss of their holiest city ignite an even more intense, centuries-long fire of religious fanaticism, leading to even more conflict? And what about Saladin's rule? In our history, he was known for his chivalry and tolerance after conquering Jerusalem. Would he have been as magnanimous after a swift, brutal victory in 1177? Or would the nature of his conquest have led to a harsher rule? Without the long, drawn-out struggle, would his legendary reputation for mercy have ever been forged? The very way we remember these historical figures would change. Ultimately, the fall of a young king on a forgotten battlefield could have rewritten the destiny of empires. The Middle East might have found a different kind of unity. Europe might have turned its ambitions inward, and the very concept of holy war could have evolved in a completely different direction. History truly does balance on a knife's edge. What do you think would have happened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. It's incredible to think how one single day, one different decision, could have sent ripples through centuries of history. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy exploring these historical what-ifs, make sure to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.